I want to tell you something personal. For a long time, I was afraid of grammar, not afraid of learning it, afraid of getting it wrong. Before every sentence, every single sentence, I stopped. I checked. Is this the right tense? Do I need a or the? Is this word correct here? And while I was checking, the conversation moved. The other person continued talking. The moment passed. I said nothing, or I said something, but 5 seconds too late. And the conversation was already somewhere else. I was careful, I was correct, and I was completely useless in a real conversation. Does this sound familiar? I think it does. Because I hear this from English learners all the time. They study grammar for years. They know the rules. They can explain the rules. But when they speak, they freeze. They stop. They check. And they lose the conversation. Today, I want to talk about why this happens and what to do about it. Here is something important, something most English teachers do not say clearly. There are two different things, grammar knowledge and grammar in speaking. These are not the same thing. They are very, very different. Grammar knowledge means you understand how English works. You know the rules, you studied them, you can explain them. This is important, this is useful. But grammar in speaking means you use grammar automatically, without thinking, without stopping, without checking. These two things feel connected, but they are not. Not at first. Let me explain with a simple example. Think about driving a car. When you first learn to drive, you think about everything. Left foot, right foot, mirror, signal, speed, distance. You think about all of it at the same time. It is very hard. But after 1 year of driving, you do not think about these things. You just drive. Your body knows what to do. It is automatic. Grammar is the same. When you study grammar, you are learning the rules. This is like reading the driving manual. Important, necessary, but not the same as driving. When you speak English, you need automatic grammar. Grammar that comes without thinking. Grammar that lives in your body, not just in your head. The problem for most learners is this. They study the manual, but they do not drive enough. They know the rules, but the rules are not automatic yet. So when they speak, they try to check the manual in the middle of driving, and they crash, or they stop, or they say nothing. Here is another important idea. Native English speakers make grammar mistakes. Every day, all the time. Really. I am not joking. A native speaker says, "Me and John went to the shop." This is grammatically wrong. The correct form is John and I. But native speakers say me and John all the time, in conversation with friends at home. A native speaker says, "Who did you go with?" Some grammar books say you cannot end a sentence with, but every native speaker does this, every day. A native speaker says, "I didn't do nothing." Two negatives, technically wrong, very common in spoken English, and nobody stops the conversation. Nobody says, "Wait, that is incorrect." The conversation continues because the meaning was clear. This is the most important thing I want you to understand today. When you speak, your goal is not to be perfect. Your goal is to be understood. Communication is the goal. Correct grammar is a tool for communication, not the goal itself. If you said something imperfect, but the other person understood you, you succeeded. The conversation worked. That is fluency. Now let's talk about 5 specific habits. 5 things that learners do, because of grammar fear, that damage their speaking. I call them grammar traps, and almost every learner I know falls into at least one of them. Grammar trap 1, stopping for articles. A, an, the. These 3 small words cause enormous problems for English learners, and I understand why. Articles are complicated, the rules are long, the exceptions are many. Even very advanced learners get articles wrong sometimes. But here's the truth. A wrong article almost never stops communication. If you say, "I went to cinema," instead of "I went to the cinema," the other person understands you perfectly. There is no confusion. The meaning is completely clear. But if you stop for 3 seconds to decide between A and the, you lose the flow of the conversation. The other person waits. The energy drops. The connection breaks. Choose one. Say it. Keep talking. In writing, yes, take time, get it right. Articles matter in writing. In speaking, choose fast and continue. Wrong article, right conversation. That is the better choice. Grammar trap 2. Choosing between tenses too slowly. Did I go or have I gone? Was or were? Will or going to? In a real conversation, you have about 1 second, maybe less. And the good news, in most situations, both tenses are understood. If you say, "I went to London last year," or "I have been to London," both are fine in conversation. The meaning is clear. Your listener will not stop and say, "Wait, did you use the correct aspect?" They will just understand you and reply. Choose one tense. Move forward. Do not wait. Grammar trap 3. Trying to build complicated sentences. Sometimes learners try to use passive voice or complex sentences with many clauses, and they stop in the middle because it is too difficult to finish. For example, the meeting was organized by, someone organized the meeting and then it was. Just use simple sentences, short and clear. Someone organized the meeting. Perfect, simple, clear. You do not need complicated grammar to communicate. Simple sentences work. Native speakers use simple sentences all the time, especially in conversation. Save complicated structures for your writing. In speaking, simple is better. Grammar trap 4. Correcting yourself too many times. One correction is fine. Natural, normal. Native speakers do this too. I went to the shop. Fine. Completely natural. But some learners correct themselves every 2 or 3 sentences. No, I have gone. Actually, I went. This is exhausting for the listener, and it destroys your confidence. Every time you correct yourself, you send yourself a message. I am making mistakes. I am not good enough. Say the imperfect version. Keep going. Let it go. 1 correction. Okay. 3 corrections in 1 sentence. Stop. Just say something and continue. Grammar trap 5. Waiting for the perfect word. You are speaking. You need a word. The word does not come. You stop. You search. Silence. More silence. The word is not there. This happens to everyone, even native speakers. But native speakers do not stop and wait. They describe. The thing you use to open a bottle of wine. Corkscrew. The feeling when something is happy and sad at the same time. Bittersweet. The place at the airport where you wait before the plane. Departure lounge. You described it. The other person understood. Maybe they even gave you the word. The conversation continued. This skill has a name. Circumlocution. It means using other words to describe the word you don't know. This is not a sign of weakness. This is a real communication skill. Native speakers use it constantly. You can use it too. Now, practice moment. Right now, with me. I want you to set a timer, 90 seconds. For 90 seconds, talk about your day, in English, out loud. Only one rule, you cannot stop to correct yourself. If you make a grammar mistake, keep going. If you use the wrong article, keep going. If you can't find a word, describe it or skip it. If you're not sure about a tense, choose one and continue. Just keep talking for 90 seconds. Ready? Set the timer. Start now. After the timer, Ask yourself one question. Did the other person understand you? Or, if you were alone, did the meaning come through? Did you say something real about your day? Yes? Then it worked. That was fluency practice. Real fluency practice. Grammar practice is different. Grammar practice is for study time, books, exercises, writing, slow and careful. Fluency practice is for speaking time, talking, describing, continuing. Fast and imperfect. You need both, but you must train them separately. You cannot do both at the same time. Let me say this one more time, because it is the most important idea in this episode. Grammar is a tool, just a tool. A hammer is a tool. You use it to build something, but you do not stop in the middle of building to admire the hammer. You just use it. Grammar is the same. You learn it, you practice it, and then, when you speak, you use it without thinking about it. The goal of all your grammar study is this: automatic grammar. Grammar that happens by itself. Grammar that comes without stopping, without checking, without fear. And you only get automatic grammar one way, by speaking a lot, imperfectly, without stopping. Every time you speak, even badly, your brain learns something. Every imperfect sentence teaches your brain more than 10 perfect sentences written in a notebook. Speak first, fix later. That is the order. Always. Your challenge this week. The next time you speak English, decide before you start. I will not stop to correct myself. Not once. Just try it. One conversation, one phone call, one message read out loud. See what happens, and write in the comments. Which grammar trap do you fall into the most? Articles, tenses, waiting for the perfect word? Tell me. I read every comment. Until next time, speak first, fix later. That is the order. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a story. Because the right episode at the right moment can change more than just your English.